here in Nashville for the 7th Country Music Marathon and Half Marathon. I think it says a lot about the city of Nashville, what it has to offer.
Well, hey, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the NFM Podcast. You are here with me, Sav, and that's short for Savanna Hill. And
I think they know that.
I think they know by now. Maybe we have new listeners. I don't know.
Okay.
We're a hot commodity.
Forgot.
I don't know. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Sam?
Tell them who you are.
I am the Gerell Webb, also known as just G.
Mm-hmm.
Either or, whatever tickles your fancy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's going on, man?
Oh, just keeping it G.
I see what you did there. Yeah, I love it.
Gerell's got a hat on. Show the camera.
I don't
This is keep it G.
know if you guys can see that or not. It should be coming soon. God. More merch coming soon.
Yep, it's coming and I'm getting it.
Yeah.
I won't look as cool as you will.
Of course
keeping
you
it
will.
G. But
Of course you will. Well, now if you say it like that, like it's not really it's a complete sentence without you don't have to enunciate.
Yes. Yeah,
all
you're
of
right.
it.
Yeah,
But I love it.
Teach
Just
me
wear
how to keep it
I
G.
got
We're
you.
good.
I think you already got it. You are who you are. It's
That's
all
true.
about being authentic. That's it.
Yeah, I am the Sav.
There you go. Own that.
Oh, I
was
do.
about to
Trust
say
me.
Something else, but Terry doesn't like us to cuss, so
Yeah. Well, you can whisper in my ear.
to fine. Take it out of my paycheck, Terry.
Yeah.
Start
We
getting fined
can
and more
afford a
cuss.
few little blips, right?
More cuss.
We're just humans. I'm just a girl.
What's new with you? I haven't seen you all year.
I know. It's been all
We
year,
got
literally.
it. Literally,
Well,
it's
you were
February.
on Good Morning America. Let's just not
was.
let that go by.
I was on Good
that
Morning
was
America.
Amazing to see. I'm
Yeah.
kind of a fangirl and I work with you.
Stop.
But I know how much
Stop.
it makes you feel good,
No,
'cause,
100%. Yeah,
that's amazing,
one
though.
of the words of affirmation are still my love language in 2025. But
you
then
deserve it.
so is achievement. Achievement is big for me. So that felt good. I'm not gonna
Tell me
lie.
about it a little bit.
Yeah, so I got an opportunity. I think I talked about it before. To work with Dr. Ian, and he just released a new book called Eat Your Age.
Okay.
And so it breaks down fitness and nutrition based on decades, what you should focus on.
I love
pretty
that.
much. And so he asked me, he was doing talking. So he was like, him and Michael are talking food. And so it's like a 2.5 minute segment. Mm-hmm. He's like, y'all need somebody to can you help me with the fitness part? Mm-hmm. And I was like, what? Yeah.
You know it.
And he was like, well, this was Thursday. He was like, it's literally Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Say less. I'm there. I'm in New York.
Yeah, you can't say no to that.
Yeah. It's like Good Morning America. Yeah.
I'm busy.
And so we got there, and it was like a group of us, and I just coordinated the fitness part.
That's awesome.
And then we got to, work out.
I gotta go watch it.
Didn't get to talk yet or anything like that, but it's the first time, and you got to see, how the sausage is made, the behind the scenes of it all.
So is it really hectic back there, or is it pretty chill?
It's controlled chaos.
Yeah, okay.
Literally, we got 2 minutes, and then this is going to be a different set. There's people waiting at the door for cut, rush in, rush out, complete. They walk away, and then they walk back. It's
cool.
Controlled chaos. Everybody knows so many different parts.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what job they're supposed to be doing.
That's awesome.
And so whoever's talent, they're like, all right, guys, hold on right here. All right, now you go. Now, all right, guys, stay here. We're paying. They're telling you exactly. Yeah. They're giving you he's over there counting all right, they're coming here in 3, 2, go. Start working out. And then it's great, get out of here.
That's awesome. Hell yeah, that's
it's
so
great job. All right,
like
next.
A movie set.
Yeah. It's very fast paced. So you don't really know if it went good or not until it's over, and you're they're yeah, you did great. It's just so fast paced.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. Is
there a link to watch the segment?
Yeah, I'm sure
Probably
it's
on
on
YouTube.
Good Morning America's
Okay.
website or
I'm sure it would be on YouTube by now
on
too.
YouTube, I'm sure. Yeah.
Word. I was only seeing it through your Instagram.
Yeah, all good. You can watch it.
Cool.
A little bit of my Instagram.
Yeah.
The parts that I posted. I don't know how much I posted. I can't remember.
Well, you know what? I was telling Terry while you were gone, and doing that, I was like, you know what? Gerell says what he means. You know, like when I first met you, which was like a little over a year ago, like year and a half, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
When we started doing this podcast, I knew of you, but we had never met. And immediately you said, I'm going to be on TV. And you said, every goal that you've said you have, you've been accomplishing it. You know, you get there.
Well,
and like,
saying that,
yeah, dude, it's really inspiring because I'm like, now sitting here knowing you, I'm like, he literally has manifested everything that he does it. He manifests it. He takes action, you know, like, so it's awesome.
Well, thank you, man. God is good.
I love to see it. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Hell yeah. Well,
Now,
let's get into it.
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Word. So today we have a special guest here with us. Her name is Jordyn Schumm, and she is with CrossFit East Nashville. And we're going to talk about Jordyn and CrossFit and all the things Jordyn wants to talk about. What's up, Jordyn? How you
all
doing?
the things. I'm doing great. How are you, Sav?
Doing good. So we actually have met before.
We have.
And we realized that when we were booking you for the podcast. And I was like, yeah, we both kind of mutually were like, I think we know each other. And then you brought it up and I was like, yes. And then we were friends on Instagram and then here we are.
Right. You have to be friends on Instagram first, right? And then stalk each other and then be real
it's
friends.
I know your handle, you are Jordyn1257, or something, and then it's friendship. When you know someone's real name, that's friendship now.
Yep. Stage 2. I like it.
Someone's last name,
Whoa.
you guys are on a deeper level.
Third base.
You know their parents' names, you might as well be dating.
Third base is last name, man.
Real last name.
How many bases are there? I'm counting.
Well, nowadays with technology, there are a lot more bases. There's a lot more hurdles to friendship.
7 or 8 bases.
Yeah, 7 or 8 bases for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. Okay, I'm just making sure.
It ain't no baseball game.
No, okay, yeah. I was like, man, we're almost there then.
Innings, forget about it. We don't have innings anymore.
Wait a minute. Well, have you been on Tinder? You know how fast that goes.
We're at the bottom of the 28th.
Right. I love it.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yes. That's all I care about.
We like to kind of open up the episodes with our little icebreaker game.
Yes.
It is the basket of debate.
Okay.
And we always tell people it's the basket of debate is famous. It's been on TV, but not as famous as Gerell.
Of course.
It has not been on Good Morning America. The day it's on Good Morning America.
Should have taken it.
I probably want to know what to do. Like, if I'm on Good Morning America with a basket of debate, I'd be like,
Hey guys, no, it's kind of my, emotional basket. It helps me.
just so you know, if I ever were on Good Morning America, I would not act like I act on this podcast.
You should.
Unless they wanted me to. They're like, we want you just because you're on this podcast.
We want you to be you. That's it.
Well, I'd be myself, but it would be like,
I think you'd be a watered down version. You'd be in your head.
I think I would be nervous.
Yeah, for sure.
I love Michael Strahan. Like, I love that guy. And I would just
hold some kettlebells. You'll feel safer. It'll be okay.
Right.
My voice would go like 10 pitches higher because I'd be like, oh my God.
He's one of those people that has a way of making you feel like he already knows you. Like,
that's sick.
because he knows. So he'd be like, he would naturally
Makes you
call
feel
you Sav anyway.
safe,
He
yeah.
would never call you Sav. He'd be like, Sav.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, you know me? And he has no clue who you
Yeah.
are, but he's been reading his, Robin, same thing. Like, she gave me a hug.
Oh my God, I love her even more.
And I was like, oh my God, it's like my auntie.
She's like a superwoman. Oh,
but
I know she's like that.
That's like what you see. One thing about him, what you see is what you get. Like, she is really like that. She's back there smiling, happy. Oh my goodness. She's like, look at all of that. And I was like, Robin,
I'm a married man, Rob.
I don't care. Listen.
What base was she on?
She can't get mad. I don't know. I don't think my wife would get mad if it's with Robin. Like, babe, it's Robin.
Judging by
What
everything
you
you've
want
told me
to
about
do?
your wife, she'd be super cool about it.
yeah.
And she'd be like, my turn next.
Right.
Right.
Move over. This is Robin Roberts.
Robin
I
Roberts.
mean,
Yeah,
come on.
she loves her. So it's
Yeah.
like, that's like one of her.
How do you not like Robin
secrets.
Roberts?
Hey, I agree.
Like, who could not like her? She's amazing. Okay, let's get into the basket of debate.
Basket of
debate.
debate.
So I grab one, you grab one,
Okay.
and Gerell will grab one, and then we'll all take turns reading them, and basically we debate over it. It's not like a crazy, although one day it would be fun to put something serious in here.
Right.
But anyways,
Oh.
who wants to go first?
Yeah. Talking to someone with headphones in, socially acceptable or crime against humanity? Should people respect the universal headphones in, don't talk to me rule? Or is it a friendly gym chat always okay. Oh, are we in the gym? This take
Okay.
Okay, yeah. It better be important.
Yeah.
It better be important.
I already know what you're gonna
like
say.
if I have my headphones on,
Yeah.
like if I'm in public, not so much, just because anything could be happening. I want you to tell me.
Sure.
But if I'm in the gym, like yeah, I'm probably gonna be like I'm gonna naturally just make a face. Like,
Yep.
like what do you want? Like I don't mean any harm, but a little bit. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Because I want you to know that it's bothering me that you want to talk to me, and I clearly don't.
Yeah. Like I want you to know whatever you're about to say should be important.
Yeah.
Like a guy stopped me in the gym to tell me that I reminded him of Terry Crews. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
First of all, you've interrupted me.
Yeah.
Second of all, I don't know how I feel about this connection.
He flagged me down. Like I'm in the middle of my workout. He's like, oh my God. Like he ran up to me. He's like, I've been over there watching you. And I'm already like, what? He's like, I've been thinking you look like somebody famous. And I got who it is. It's Terry Crews. Are you guys related or anything? I was like,
Lord.
what? I was like, no, just because I'm black with muscles.
Right.
You know what I mean? That we're related.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course it was.
Of course it was. Sav, you knew the answer to that question before you asked it.
Yeah, that would annoy me.
But I was kind of like, oh, okay, thanks. And then like later I kind of felt bad because I was really short.
Sure.
And then he came back but he's like really like on 10 all the time. So when he saw me like a couple of days later, he's like, man, I'm sorry. I know I was interrupting you. I'm just kind of like, and I was like,
no, I know.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Here we are again, brother. But yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
it
not-
depends on the day for
Yeah.
me. Like if you catch me on a bad day, I might not respond well. I'm not going to yell at you or be like,
No, yeah.
I can't cuss.
Yeah.
But
Felt that box get a little tighter. You was like,
I'm annoyed. You know, I'm gonna be like,
yeah.
you know, make that face, and then if you say something to me, I'll be nice, but like, you know, I can be short too.
Yeah.
I'm not a perfect person, and but if you catch me on a good day, I might entertain the conversation, but I will use the headphone, like the AirPod, to be like.
Oh, okay.
And it starts going back in the ear.
The
Please
time
don't
limit
make
is
me
up.
Take it back out. Like,
One more thing. Real quick, just one more.
it's
What?
literally
Yeah.
body language.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to be like turning away, walking away, you know?
Yeah, and I
putting the
I use
airbag
over the
back in.
ears now, so now it's just like a pull away, like so I can.
Yeah.
And there's
That's
silencer,
great.
so I can literally like I don't know. It's been 90 seconds. I gotta go again. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Definitely not, I was gonna say definitely not mid exercise, right? If you're
Yeah.
coming up to me, we're like you're in the mid of
should not talk
a
to me at
movement.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Unless something is a safety issue to your point,
Right.
like it better be super important. Hey, I just saw your keys fly off down
Yeah,
the hallway
someone
or
just
whatever.
took your-
Someone just took your cell phone or whatever. I think that is something worth interrupting, but especially if you're in the middle of a workout. But if there is something that makes sense to have a conversation about, sure. And obviously if it's someone you know, right? Then of course it's
But-
hey, how's it going?
Here's the question though.
Yeah.
Let's make it specific.
Yeah.
With CrossFit, it's very high pace.
Yes.
So there's no time to there's no break.
Right.
So I either got to catch you before or after. Is what you're saying?
Well, yeah, and in
'Cause
CrossFit,
you're probably on a timer. You like, yo.
Yeah, no.
You like,
and that's I'm
Right?
thinking more like global gym setting because the CrossFit, you're on a clock with everyone else in class. Most people aren't wearing headphones. They're
Right.
the coach is
but
playing
if
music.
You're working out by yourself.
Oh,
Do
yeah, if you're
you
doing
do
your own-
CrossFit,
Yes, yeah, I do.
Okay. So you're in the middle of your workout.
Yeah.
Not a class setting.
Okay.
Just you're in there getting it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, don't talk to me. If the clock is going, then yeah, you have some kind of goal that you're trying to hit a certain number of reps or weight, and so there is a very specific time limit for that.
Yes.
That if you come over and start talking to me now, that's all been thrown out the window. So yeah, no, yeah, I'm literally just gonna go just wave you down and be like, I'll talk to you after.
Yeah.
But I think that's a pretty known thing within the gym. If you have headphones in, you're doing something specific, you have a goal, and I'm gonna wait till the timer goes
The
off
only
and
time
then touch
it's
base.
like really like truly acceptable is like, hey, are you using this? Or hey,
Sure.
and like even then, like people at Carbon just hand signal. They're like,
sign language.
you know, like we're good. You know,
But usually if you wait, and that's another thing that like I superset everything almost.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so I get really upset when you watch me superset. And then I walk away, and then you get on the machine. Because now
I'm coming back.
Yeah, because you now have to be a jerk and say, "Hey, I'm using that."
Sure.
Right. And you're
No, you're not.
And
Well,
you're
that's-
either
do
gonna
you know
say,
what a superset is?
Oh, okay. Act like you didn't know when I saw you like watch me. You watch me go back and forth.
Well, and
So,
okay, that's a
yeah.
separate debate of like, do you get control of that machine even though you're not on it? Like,
That's
is that
a
your
good question,
machine?
too.
Because technically, could they get it,
If you're
sneak in
on
a
it-
set
That's why I
between?
don't use machine.
Not so if you're at the weight that I am,
Okay.
Yes.
We got to be as strong as you
yeah.
to share.
Because what I'm not gonna do is keep stripping and right. Because I'm not gonna keep pulling weight off and putting it back on for you.
Right.
Unless it's like a pin machine. If
Sure.
it's a pin
Pin,
machine,
right.
then whatever. But
Sure.
if we're on like I gotta put my weights on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get
You gotta
that.
wait.
I get that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I get
I'm
that.
sorry, not sorry.
Right.
But I was here first. So it's like
Only if I feel like that's only like not a good thing to like claim the machine for a superset or something like that if you're taking forever.
Right.
Like if your supersets are taking like 30 fucking minutes. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did it. There we go.
It was.
Beat me out.
We made it
about
4
this.
minutes
Yeah.
into the podcast.
Yeah, we did
it was top of her mind.
Yeah,
not
she
to
had-
curse, so it
it's
just
just-
naturally
yeah,
happened.
yeah.
She's good now.
Sorry,
She got
guys.
she got
Anyways.
one out, so she's good now.
Great.
Apparently cursing is a sign of you're a creative person the more you cuss. So I go with that ever since I
So I
heard
tell my
that
wife, yeah.
on an Instagram meme. But yeah,
Right.
forgot what I was talking
Science
about.
shows.
Oh,
30
yeah,
minutes.
just like taking forever on a machine. Like if you're like sitting there like on your phone or you're
Yes.
like, I'm resting.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hey, I'm having a conversation.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna walk away.
Like,
It's like,
if
yo,
I-
I was using that. It's like you literally just walked around this gym, did a lap, and said hi to all your friends, and then came back and said you're using this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get out of my face.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
mine now.
Right.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But and I try to be conscious of what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm supersetting, it's usually a machine and a free weight.
Sure.
So I'll usually rest on the free weight. So if
Mm-hmm.
you need the machine,
You'll have time.
I'll tell you, hey, I was here, but you can feel free to work in. But
Sure.
I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
so
I think
you
if there's
know.
communication, right? If it's like, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
We can ping pong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cool
And
like
then
that.
that's an acceptable time to interrupt you with earbuds in.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't know. That's
Have a
another.
perfect world in a
That
public
one gets
gym.
me to the how many you got left. Like
Yeah.
how many you got left? I just started.
Whenever I have
Every
been
time I
asked
just started.
You know,
It all started over because you came over and you
came
talked
over
to
here.
me.
Sat one. I got 6 more. Like,
psychologically, if somebody comes up and says that to me, I have to like it's my last set. Even if I had 2
Oh,
more, or
sure.
3 more, I
no.
just am like I just don't even like that you're watching me, so I'm gonna leave. I'll
yeah,
find
I'm
something
literally
else
the
to do.
opposite. It's my first set.
Yeah,
Just started, bro.
just got here.
Could be my last.
So
unless
walk
it's
away.
my last, and I like just finished. But if I'm like, yeah, I just started.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Go find something else to do.
I should maybe adopt that
Because
attitude.
sometimes you have to work out of order anyway. Like you can't like everything. You can't do
Yeah.
in order.
Sure.
And so I get upset when I have to go out of order. But sometimes it's what it is. Like it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, that's not the way I wrote the workout. So
Sure.
sometimes you gotta go bottom up, and that's just how it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that happens
Yeah.
to me a lot, and I'm fine with it. But all right, let's move on. We spent a lot of time on that question.
Man, that was the basket of debate right there.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know what you mean by fair weather, but it says, are fair weather runners just sprinters?
Only in the
It's
nice weather.
When it's nice out, yeah.
Okay, like literally fair weather.
Like
okay.
me.
Are fair weather runners just sprinters with commitment issues?
Yes. Yes,
We've talked so much about how we like sprinting, but
Yeah.
not necessarily. I actually like don't. I used to be like, it's not anti, but like I didn't run. And I joke about it and like I hate running, and I don't hate running. I think it's a great thing. I've actually been running more in the winter than I have in
Really?
the summer, which is weird. But yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah,
I think
it has to be a certain temperature for me to be outside.
I think I think there's no label. I think it's just you like running when it's nice outside, and then if it's not nice outside, you don't care. Let's
Find something else to do.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm not a David Goggins guy either. Like if it's raining, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be tough and go run in the rain.
actually, that's
I'm
what I like to run.
Really?
Because it
No.
makes me feel like I'm in a movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's fun.
Makes me feel
It makes
sexy.
running more fun.
Yeah.
It makes me feel sexy. But other than that,
Running in the rain, I'm like, I'm running for my life. You know, this is cool. You know, I can actually run now.
Rocky
makes me wanna
7.
run in slow motion. Yeah, makes me want to run in slow motion.
Or up
'cause
the
it's
Yes.
kinda
make it harder.
Make-
That's
yes.
why I like vest running. Like I literally got a vest because I love running in a vest, and I don't go. I'm strategic about it because you can give yourself a stress fracture. But I genuinely think it's made my joints stronger, and I think it's making my legs a little bigger. But yeah, it's. The only reason I did that is because it felt cool. I like feel cooler. Like,
You got
I'm
the
like,
vest on.
the military does this. Like, sick. You know, like I can put patches on my vest, and yeah, it's fun. And now I'm not too bad at it.
That's awesome. Yeah, but if
But
you look
regular
at
running, I'm bored. I'm just like,
yeah, the true hardcore runners are out there. It does not matter what
Yeah.
temperature,
Yeah.
what
They do all
weather,
of it.
and they're doing
Yeah.
their 13 miles, and you're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you are a whole nother breed. And we have a few of those in our gym,
they
and it's
have
just like,
their water
holy
bottle
cow.
packs, their vests
Yes.
on, their like, you know, speed shoes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. They
It
got
just does not
all.
matter.
And then they'll go trail running in the winter. You
Yes.
know, yeah.
Yeah, when we
I
got
mean,
when we get
kudos.
snow, they're out there in the snow, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
It's badass, but
yeah,
not
for me.
Not for me. Yeah, definitely. not
People
for me.
doing like, you know, I think I've made a joke about it on my story, but people who are out in the winter, like in the snow, doing strength, you know, like let me do some kettlebell swings outside. I'm like, no, I'm good inside.
Right.
Why are we
Looks
out
cool
here?
on video. But
in
if
this-
I'm,
Yeah,
if I'm
that's
not shooting like content,
It's just for the
like
gram.
if I don't have like Trent
Exactly.
out there and we're making like a
Right.
movie,
Yeah, no. If you're gonna do something
I'm
out there,
inside.
like there should be a reason that you're outside doing it. But people are just like, I'm cool because I'm
Yeah.
in the snow doing
my
my
shirt
workout.
off.
And I'm like,
yeah, shirt off.
Are you
doing my
barefoot?
burpees in the snow?
Like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
No, like,
No,
and
thank you.
everyone does it.
Right.
Everybody does it in the wintertime. Everyone posts something like them doing a barbell snatch in the snow. And I'm like, great.
Congrats.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Good
do
job.
I'm gonna do mine inside.
Right.
Where it's warm.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
Like,
Not have my
gonna
hands
join you out
freeze
there.
to the barbell.
I might go on a
what's
hike or
yours?
something. But not
Yeah.
that.
Yes. Okay. So mine is about grunting. Okay.
Ooh.
So is this motivational or is it menacing? Does loud grunting boost performance, or is it just an unnecessary attempt to sound like a superhero lifting a planet?
Yeah, you can tell the difference.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
like the people who like to be heard. And you
Yeah.
know who I'm talking about. There are people who like grunt on purpose
Yeah.
and everything they do. And I'm like,
Just like
Can
that
you chill?
attention
Like-
grab.
Yeah.
this is clearly like, you know, you're like, ah, you want everyone in the gym to hear you. It's like, it's not that heavy over there, you know? And then the guys who are lifting heavy are like silent. At least, you know,
Yeah.
recently the people I've been around, it's like there's Olympic lifters or CrossFitters doing like snatches and everybody gets annoyed when they drop weights. I don't because it's part of that sport.
Yeah.
And if you participate in the sport, you know that that's going to happen. And it's
I
also
think
a
it-
gym,
Yeah, if,
you know?
if the weight is heavy enough, you should be dropping it anyway.
Right. And
that's
those
just kinda-
guys,
yeah,
I don't
that's
ever
just-
hear them like you might hear a
Right.
little like
Yeah.
you know, but
Right.
like
Yeah.
they're
Nothing
not
crazy.
grunting, and it's always the guy that's doing like 95 pounds on a bench press and like ah, ah.
There's one guy in particular I think about that works out at Carbon in Franklin, and I won't say his
I gotta
name
go.
because he's actually a pretty well known guy, but he is like the loudest on purpose, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like if I can hear you through my headphones,
Wow.
like what are we doing right now?
Yeah, no.
That's literally like I'm like, what are we doing right now?
It's
Come
for
on, man.
attention.
It's
And, like,
definitely for
I
attention.
definitely
Which I
grunt.
get it as well, right? Like if I'm lifting the gym, and you guys, like I love attention. I mean, you don't know this, but I love attention. I
You?
do.
Wow, I never would have guessed.
But I'm not like an attention. Can we say the W word? Yeah, whore. There you go. You said it.
out loud.
Yeah. I was asking. I want to make sure.
2 for
I want
2,
to make
guys.
sure-
Way to go.
I want to make sure Terry said it, so my paycheck should still be the same. I'm not like an attention whore.
Right.
I like attention like because I'm lifting heavy, and
Sure.
you're like, oh shoot, he's lifting a lot of weight.
It's appropriate.
Appropriate, yeah.
Yeah.
Not like, I'm over there screaming, saying, "Look at me!"
Right.
Before I lift. But I also like
Actions speak louder than words, anyways.
not always. Sometimes words speak louder.
Yeah, but like if you're lifting something impressive, people are gonna notice without you making
Maybe not.
sounds. Yeah, but
What
eye
if you don't-
against eye.
What if you're not looking? What if your gym crush isn't looking? Gotta make
Oh,
sure.
I don't
Gotta
have
make
that.
sure
Heaven forbid.
You gotta make sure she, oh wow.
What if she's like turned off by the grunting? What if she's like, this
Maybe-
guy just wants to be heard?
What if she's turned on? Women like grunting.
True, you never know.
Like that's why men like Tarzan, all of that.
Okay.
Jane loved Tarzan.
Let's ask all women.
All women. Quick poll.
Just kidding, I'm kidding.
Every woman.
Yeah. I think, and I don't want to like deter people from like, if you have to make a noise, like make a noise.
Right.
Like there's nothing wrong with dropping weights or grunting. Both of those things I think should be acceptable.
Yes.
And if you don't like when people drop weights in the gym, you need to get out more because Planet Fitness kind of ruined that for people. And,
Sure.
I think it's so dumb.
Well, and there's something
They're
super,
weights.
super cathartic about the drop. Like when
Yeah.
you hit a PR, you hit that snatch or the clean and jerk, whatever, and you get to drop that
Yeah.
heavy weight from the top and hear the clang and echo through the gym. That is part of the lift of just like, that is the celebration
Yeah.
of like, wow, that just happened.
Well, and like you said, you're not supposed to like when you do a heavy snatch in CrossFit with a barbell.
Yeah.
how
Do not
you
catch that
expect
thing.
You're gonna
Yeah.
bring it down.
You're right.
Like, you should probably drop it.
Yeah. Unless you're looking for injuries. There's
Now-
no,
I
yeah.
was about to say, now you plan on ever doing that again?
Exactly. This is your one lift for eternity.
Right. I've done that with something like a deadlift on purpose where I'm like trying to control the
Of
negative
course.
on purpose.
Yes.
But like if it's heavy enough, I'm not going to,
Right.
like
Save the low back.
yeah, and drop the weight. And if you're one of those people that like I'm like, God, you need to go find more gyms to work out in and come back.
Yeah.
Because you've been to Planet Fitness and here.
Right.
Right. But anyway, all right. Well, basket, that was a good one.
That was a
That
good
was a
one.
good one.
Way to go,
Good
guys.
question.
Jordyn,
Terry.
we got to get
Yes, sir.
into a little bit of your story.
Yeah.
Former athlete, talk to me. What'd you play?
Yeah, I played lacrosse in college.
Lacrosse. Where'd you go?
So cool.
I was at Sanford University down in Birmingham.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
Even
Yeah.
cooler.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Lacrosse is like one of the coolest sports to me.
It's super fun. Except
don't know it.
The
I don't
girls,
understand it.
girls get a lot of restrictions where boys can just hit each other. We have a lot. We have to be more sneaky about it.
Really?
So yeah. So girls
dumb.
wear a mouth guard and eyepiece.
Yes.
But that's it. And we have cleats. And so
No helmet?
No helmet.
Really?
Yep. And so
What?
guys have the pads,
Yeah.
they're fully decked out. So
Yeah.
they're smacking the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
And so we still find ways to break each other's noses and fingers and stuff. That still happens. But you have to be more sneaky because the ref
Got
will
you.
call a red flag, but
Okay.
a red card. But
That's
Right card.
dumb.
Okay.
Women are not fragile. They're tough.
no. So I was always mad growing up. I've been playing since I was 12, and
Okay. How'd
from
you
the
get into
beginning,
lacrosse?
it is the weirdest thing. I'm from here. I'm from Franklin, Tennessee.
Okay.
Lacrosse is
No
a
way, me too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Fist
Let's
bump.
go. Unicorns unite.
Yeah, that's us.
And the weird part is lacrosse is very much a northern sport. You should be up in Pennsylvania, Maryland, somewhere up
Yeah.
there. But for whatever reason, Williamson County had enough lacrosse pool, which it is,
Williamson
and it is definitely a sport for a more affluent area. And so,
Yeah.
because it's expensive for the gear and all that. So my school had a team. And so I just tried it when, had tried everything, growing up with gymnastics, soccer. I'd done basketball, all the things, found lacrosse at 12 and was like, ooh, I think this is what I want to
thing.
stick with. Yeah.
Okay.
So the other high schools had it. So we played Ravenwood and Franklin High and Brentwood. And everybody had a team. So
Yeah.
it was just like a natural thing. I didn't even really realize how weird that was until going to school and realizing all of my friends that were on the team were from the North. And then
Yeah.
they hear me from my little Southern girl over
Like,
here.
how'd you learn how to play? Like,
Yeah. Do they even sell lacrosse sticks in Tennessee? Like, what the heck? So, yeah, but I loved it. It was a great outlet. And I do think there was a lot of preface that led me into CrossFit, or this idea that women could be strong because lacrosse requires that, right? Like, it's definitely not as feminine of a sport. And so I think I was kind of set up for that, of just like, no, it's okay to be strong and aggressive, and it's okay to be competitive. So, yeah.
I love that. And then
Yeah.
that was a natural transition to CrossFit, or how did the CrossFit?
Sav and I were just talking about that before we started,
Yeah.
that I definitely still had my wandering phase. I feel like after college, everybody has that where you're like,
Yeah.
now what? Especially for collegiate athletes.
Yeah.
It's like, now you don't have a coach or a team. what do I do? I guess I am a runner now. So I did the half marathon things.
Yeah.
I did the running phase.
I've seen collegiate athletes who like are no longer athletes struggle with fitness harder than like a beginner who's
Totally.
never, like moved in their life.
Well, and I have, I'm one of my cousins, or I have had multiple family members play football for big schools like Auburn, and they get done, and it's almost like they're on the opposite end of burnout, where it's like, I don't even know how or want to do this because I was forced to do it for so long. But for me, it was more of, I no longer feel like I have purpose behind my workouts, whereas like before it was always towards a goal, and now it's just to be alive. What does that look like?
Yeah.
It
And
like
so,
haunts people for years.
for sure.
They're like looking for that. Like I had a client tell me like, I miss the dying and killing myself. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, I like, just when we trained, it was like you were blacking out, throwing up. Like I miss that. And I was like, okay. And it was like years after that, you know, and like she was just lost, you know, and was looking for, she was running and she had all these injuries and stuff like that. And like, it really took a minute to kind of reframe her mindset, because it's like, you can't go back, but you can have new, and you just have to approach it differently. But like, I understood that, you know, even though I didn't play college sports, I'm like, I get that that's like, you had a target, you had a reason, a purpose, you know, and then like, oh, now I'm just training for life.
And you have people counting on you, right? When you're on a team, it's like, I'm going to die for you on the field because this is for the greater good of the team. And so that also is something you lose when you go out in the world as an adult, where now I'm at the Y by myself, lifted weights just for me feels a little different than I'm going to be out there and be my best self and slide and, you know, run my head into someone else's head for the team, you know? And so that's just a different mindset when you get out there in the real world
to consider, especially if you're not, you know, a collegiate athlete. Like,
right. And so, did the wandering, did a lot of, I did boxing, I did running, lifted weights. I was like the only girl in the weight section of the Y or whatever. Did that for a while. And I'd been told multiple times, you'd be so good at CrossFit, or you would love it. This is such a good outlet. And at that time, and I think it's still a reputation for CrossFit of like, oh no, that's the sport that people get hurt in, or that, you know, that's not for me. I just was very anti. And so in hindsight, really wish I would have given it a shot sooner. Cause now, you know, I didn't find it till I was almost 27. And it's like, I would have loved to have done this a lot earlier in my life, but at least I found it at all.
When it comes to like that reputation that CrossFit has, my mind is completely more open, just by being around people and meeting people and talking to people who do CrossFit, coach CrossFit, and just like music. I've come to this consensus, and anything else in fitness, but CrossFit just gets the short end of the stick. But like music, there's good and bad in every genre. There's good and bad, you know, CrossFit gyms. There's good and bad Pilates gyms. There's good and bad in anything. So, you know, like a lot of people get hurt doing CrossFit, and that's probably because their body was not ready for CrossFit, and they went to a gym and no one told them that, you know, like, but it's not necessarily anyone's fault, you know, it's just somebody wanted to try it and they got hurt, you know? And there's a lot of intensity. It's capacity oriented. But you know, I think if you don't understand it and you haven't tried it, like, don't knock it. You know, I don't do CrossFit, and I don't knock it. You know, like, and I used to have opinions about it, but I learned about it, and that changed that.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing is education, right? And that's true for any fitness industry. I think there's room in the sphere, especially in Nashville, for multiple avenues for fitness, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think we get ourselves in trouble or can isolate and suffocate our own experiences by not being open and saying like, there's space for that. There's space for Pilates and yoga, and there's space for CrossFit and running, and there's space for the gym that's the free weight section. Like there's room for that. And instead of just coming at it where, oh, I don't do that sort of thing, it's like, well, have you ever been to a class? Have you ever even been? Or is this all just hearsay based on?
You could glean knowledge, because I've gleaned knowledge. I work at Fit Factory, and it's not a CrossFit gym, but a lot of those guys and coaches do CrossFit.
Right.
And they, just being around them has like taught me so many things that translate to things I do. It's not I'm not doing CrossFit. It's not like I'm like, oh, now I do CrossFit, but I've learned so much from it that I'm like, actually, this makes sense.
There's value
and
there.
I can apply this to me and what I do, or my client and what I'm doing with this client, you know, like, so I totally agree. You can close yourself off if you're like, CrossFit is bad. You know, it's like, this is bad. Okay, well, you're cool. Leave us alone so we can learn. You know, like,
well, and two, I think a lot of times, and this is true in any sport or any industry in the fitness world, is that the injuries are coming from an ego or a pride. You're especially previous athletes will walk into a CrossFit gym, see the other guy lifting a certain weight or doing a certain speed, and think they have to do that immediately. We're not very quick to be humble and say, you know what, I'm going to go get the smaller weights, or I'm going to just not do weight at all and go body weight on this movement because of my body. To your point, I'm walking in not ready for that. And so I think that's where oftentimes the injuries you hear about those, is because someone walked in with an ego that they couldn't check at the door, and it's hard to come back from.
Push back.
Yeah.
Isn't that a part of what CrossFit? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Isn't that what a part of what CrossFit is, though? Is pushing the limit?
Of course, when it's appropriate, right?
So like your limit is different than mine, you know?
Correct. Based on your...
Right? Especially, right, like CrossFit is a competitive atmosphere.
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah.
And so the whole point, correct me if I'm wrong, right? The whole point of it is to go in and to compete. It should be you versus you.
Correct.
Right? So you're trying to beat your time. You're trying to beat your best. But we also know that those times are also posted.
Right.
So you walk in and you say, okay, today's fastest was 10:05. Bet.
Right.
I'm going to do 10:02.
Yeah, you're
Right?
trying to beat it, yeah.
A lot of it is like as many reps as possible.
Right.
That's a literal term. Right.
Yep.
And so after 5 hang cleans, your form is going to break down.
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah.
And so my question, I guess, is like, where, as a coach, how do you coach? You have a limit. How do you coach? Check your ego. How do you coach? It's you versus you, but also be competitive.
That's a great question.
Yeah, it's a great question. And I do think I honestly feel there are two kind of spheres within CrossFit. So if you walked into our gym today, you were going to have the competitors, and they are there to push the limits and go to the highest possible level within themselves and challenge the boundaries. But we also have people in there who are coming back from knee surgery, are 70 years old, trying to lose 100 pounds, like just there to move and be able to pick up their grandkids. So there is something to, and what ultimately CrossFit was created for was like lifelong sustainability. I want to be able to do CrossFit till I'm 80, right? But it's going to look different than when I did CrossFit when I was 20. And so there is space for that. So I want to just say that first, that it isn't just the competitive side, but I do think that's what intimidates people, because that's the part that gets posted, right? The really sexy ring muscle ups and the snatches and all the fast, cool stuff. But 9 times out of 10, the person walking in to do CrossFit it's functional fitness. I'm trying to be able to squat below parallel. I want to be, which is, Lord knows everybody struggles with, right? Or get upside down. I've never been upside down since I was a kid, or things like that. So there is space for both. But when we're talking about the coach and where that comes into play, is to know your athletes, because the workout gets written. There's a competitive division, like the top tier of like what's expected. There's the middle section of like, okay, we're going to prescribe today, or we're scaling as needed. And so part of what the coach's job is to stand there at the whiteboard and say, based on what you are capable of. So we've got, bar muscle ups today. If you're not able to do 5 unbroken, you're moving down to this prescribed weight instead, or this prescribed movement. And so it's a way to keep people safe from themselves a little bit.
You will pull somebody off of that and
Yes.
say, hey, you're going to go.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a good example. When I said there's good and bad in CrossFit, that's my problem with some CrossFit gyms and coaches, is they don't do that.
Right.
And they'll get their CrossFit certification, and then they will be a CrossFit coach. And I'm like, it's the same as like getting your CPT and going, I'm coaching now.
Right.
Okay, but you're not there yet. It's because you got your certification. Like anybody can pay for that.
Right.
Let's be real. The barrier of entry is pretty low to be a trainer, to be a CrossFit coach, to be any of us. But it's what you do with that.
Correct.
And how much you dive into that, and how much you understand that, yes, CrossFit, but like there's a layer underneath that people need that functional fitness. People need that baseline of strength before they're able to do a bar muscle up, or before they're able to do a snatch, so having a coach or coaches who know to do that and know what to do, beautiful. CrossFit is amazing, but there are lots of, and this goes for any modality of fitness, not just CrossFit. There are coaches who don't know how to do that, and they're not learning. They don't want to know. They're not going to find that answer, they're just like, well, good luck. Just go down and wait. It's
right.
like, yeah, you can't just go down and wait and teach someone to snatch, like takes a minute,
Yes.
and it takes steps, progressions.
For sure.
So
yeah, it's infinitely scalable if you allow yourself again to check your pride at the door and say, hey, I've known you. We've been working out together. I've been your coach for the last year and a half. I know your strict strength isn't where it needs to be today. You're going for strict pull-ups. Like, we're not even going to worry about the bar muscle ups today. We're just going to do strict pull-ups today. And so that, again, no one cares what you know until they know that you care.
Yeah.
And so when that relationship is there, I care about you. I want you to be able to do this for the rest of your life. And I know if you're trying to get up there and do these crazy chicken wing bar muscle ups, you are going to hurt your shoulder. Yeah. And so I want you to be doing this for the rest of your life. So we're going to move back a couple steps. And because you know me and you know that I care about you, you're going to trust me with that and say, okay, Jordyn told me, like, we're rolling strict pull-ups today. And then eventually, guess what? Next time, 6 weeks from now, when we get back to that.
6 weeks, Jordyn? You're next to me.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah, dude.
Killing it. And I'm like, I'm the only guy here that's not doing it.
That's literally discipline in and of itself, though,
right.
is to be able to go like I was just about to touch on that. Like, if you are able to, I think some of the fittest, strongest people are the ones who are able to check their ego.
Yep.
Like, yeah, use your ego when it makes sense, when you do feel confident in doing something. But when you know, like, Gerell, if you were to hang snatch some weight and I was next to you and I'm like all hype and whatever, it's going to take some discipline for me to go, I'm not going to do that weight.
Not today.
I need to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know, like, even if I'm capable of it, maybe I'm having a shit day. God, again, Sap.
3 for 3.
Like, maybe I'm having not a great day, you know, like, and there's several times, it happens almost every day with me, where I'm like, I really want to, I shouldn't do that today.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to do this for the rest of our lives. If I thought you just were trying to get somewhere for a competition in a couple of weeks, that's a different kind of timeline than I want you to be doing this when you're 80. And so 6 weeks in the scheme of your 60 years you've got left on this planet, like, it's going to be worth it.
So
totally.
is that a conversation that you have when people walk into the gym? Like, hey, what's your goal?
Yes.
Are you trying to compete, or
Yes.
are you just trying to get in the best shape of your life? And
Yes.
then you determine based on that how you coach that person. Does that make sense?
Yes.
How you coach that person?
Totally. And so
Okay.
there's an onboarding process when you come in. So we sit down with you for a no sweat intro. You come meet with a coach. Where are your, like, holdbacks? What are you scared about? What are your goals? What are your pain points? Right. And so depending on what their goals are, and if they've ever done CrossFit before, they then go through our one-on-one program first called Elements. And so they're getting that one-on-one attention. So they learn how to snatch correctly. They learn what a wall ball is, and they do it from the start, so that when they get into classes and they say, hey, today's power snatches, they actually know what that is.
How long does that take?
So those are 4 sessions. So that's
sessions.
like anywhere from two weeks, maybe, right?
Okay.
And then even in the group class, now our coaches know this is a new person you're a new person.
eye on
I'm
you.
keeping your eye on you.
Yeah.
I'm making sure you're staying safe. And then you're equipping them based on their goals. Now, we have people in the gym that have lofty goals. And so, those are going to be pushed in a different way or given different feedback than someone who's like, I know this person and I love her to death, but she needs to be pushed in a different way. And that might just be, hey, you know what? I want you to show up and give your full effort today, and let's get under the time cap. But don't worry about the weight. Let's, So it depends on your person. It depends on to your point. Like, it just depends on the goal.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's not how my first experience went with CrossFit. It wasn't anywhere near here. It was in Boston when I lived there. And I wanted to try it. It was really hype at that time. And I did not feel like anything was scaled for me. I didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Question. Was that a drop in, or did you sign up for a membership?
They offered a free class to go, and I was interested in membership because I lived there and I was looking for a gym. I ended up going to like a 24-hour gym because I had a bad experience.
Right. It's scary.
I didn't like hurt myself or anything, and I had a good workout, but I was just like, there's just so much going on, and everyone's doing the same thing, and nobody.
But no one's checking on you. No one's making sure you got what you need. Yeah.
But to be fair, that's happened to me in other things, not just CrossFit.
Sure.
Is that not how it goes? Like, if I sign up for today's class at 5 and you don't know me, I just walked in.
Yeah.
Would you be like, no, you need to do one-on-one first?
Yeah.
Or would you say, hey, all right, well, questions about what we're doing today. Here's what we're doing. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, we really.
Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm brand new, I want to try CrossFit for the first time. I just signed up for the class online.
Yeah.
I walk in the door, what happens next?
Yeah. So our goal is always to get you to do the intro first, right? If we have any chance to get to you before you come to class, we're going to say, hey, we actually would love for you to come back for an intro meeting first. We get you signed up for Elements. That's always our first goal, because we don't do free classes because of that. Like, you don't get a free trial. I want you to come in.
I like that.
Yeah. Because
CrossFit.
because this is not. You are not walking into just there is skill.
It doesn't matter. You can say it.
No,
It's not Pilates. People can just walk in and start.
Listen, though,
whatnot.
Pilates is hard.
Yeah, it is.
Don't get me
No
started
doubt.
on how hard that is.
No doubt.
We can have that conversation.
But
shakes.
there's a certain barrier of entry also. Like,
There's a level of technique and education that needs to take place for you to be safe in a CrossFit
Yes.
class, that come into one free class, you're going to feel lost, right? That's going to feel that way. So if we have a chance to talk to you ahead of time and check that, and you've never done CrossFit before and you are coming to potentially join our gym, we're going to pause you there and be like, hey, refund you the drop-in money, come back, let's do elements, let's figure this out.
Let me see where you are before I just
Yes.
put you up on the barbell. And I think, like personally, like former athlete as well.
Yeah.
I played D1 football, and so you kind of understand from outside looking in, CrossFit feels a lot like team workouts.
Yes, it does.
And with team workouts, you have 3-4 coaches for 50, 60 players.
Right.
So it's very individualized. You have coaches roaming, but you're down there doing your workout. And they're really just driving the pace.
Right.
Right. If it looks unsafe, you're not doing anything, then I'll check you if you need a squat or a push or like,
Sure.
hey, whatever. Then I'll be there with you. And then there's also like freshman year, you're not with the team. Freshman year, especially when you're not playing,
Oh, sure.
go learn. You learn how to, right? There's a progression to that. So you
Yes.
got a year of that before we release you.
You're just getting
into
thrown
that.
in the deep end.
A
Right.
year? You were complaining
Even-
about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. We're still working out. We're still working out. But I'm also like, I also have a switch.
Right.
Doesn't matter. I can walk in today and see the high level athletes. I'm like, I'm going over there with them. That's who I am as a person.
Right.
Will I get hurt? Absolutely. Right. But I'm also okay with that. Like, because of who I am.
You know the risk, and that's
Right.
how
I
you
know the
are.
risk,
Yeah, yeah.
and I've every time I've been hurt because I was ego lifting.
Yep.
Right.
Every
and
time.
I know
Same.
that. I know it before, but it's also like 50-50. Maybe I get it and I'm hype, or maybe I don't and I'm hurt. But forget it.
I literally
Let's
went
get it.
for something today where I
So-
was like, that could have been really bad. I did it and I was proud of it, but I took a risk, you know,
Yeah.
like, and that's what you do. The more you get into fitness, the more risks you take.
But that's what maxing out is.
right. And
Maxing
so
out
that's
is, I don't know if I can do it or not.
But that's
We're about
also
to
why
find out.
people hate on CrossFit from way over here,
Yeah.
you know, because it's like, you see these people going for these crazy things, you know, but like, what is that thing that's like even crazier than CrossFit? It's like doing backflip burpees and shit.
Grid league.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That
get
stuff is
ads for that all
fun.
the time,
That stuff
and
looks wild.
It's wild, man. But like people hate on it. And I'm like, you can't hate on these people. They're doing insane things.
Yeah.
Like you
And
don't have
they
to do it.
and they built to that. Like they didn't just
That's
show
what
up one
I'm
day and like do
saying.
backflips. They built to that.
People hate on shit. Oh my God. I've got to stop. People hate on things that I do.
Right.
And I don't do anything near a barbell backflip burpee. But I do like weird kettlebell things.
Yeah.
And-
Haters are gonna hate. That's what they do.
yeah, but it's movement freedom. So once you have done the intro class
Correct.
at CrossFit East and you've built a foundation, okay, now you're ready to like get into CrossFit. And then from there, you're going to get more into CrossFit. You're going to get stronger. You're going to get more skilled, more athletic, have more capacity. Then you're going to want to do muscle ups. Then you're going to want because you're progressing. That's how
Exactly.
that works.
Exactly.
But if you've never progressed through CrossFit and you see people going like in these ring muscle ups and kipping and all that stuff, you're going to be like, no. What are you doing with your body?
Right.
You know, but it's like, you don't have to do it, but you also have to understand that you don't do it. So you don't get to judge people for doing it and having built and progressed themselves to the point where they want to do backflip burpees now. 'Cause they have the movement
because they
freedom
can
to
and they can do
that.
it safely. Yeah, for sure. We're not
Yes.
going for those 1 rep maxes. When
Those
you're in
people
those,
are like ex-gymnasts.
Yeah.
You know, like they're not just anybody walking out like, I want to try grid league. Like they got there.
Well, and I'm not throwing my 3-year-old daughter into the, Olympic trials with the gymnasts at her gymnastics gym, right? Like we have to be smart about this. They got there for a reason. They're doing the tumbles and the tricks they're doing because they've built to that stage, but they're seeing that's what gets on film and that's what people see. But that was, again, progression over time to do these movements that could be super dangerous. But Simone Biles didn't start there. She had to build to get there. And I think that's a lot of times where CrossFit, again, because there is freedom to let our ego take over, we can let ourselves go there quickly and not say, you know what, I'm still in the 3-year-old class, and that's okay.
Got you.
We're going to get there.
We
I
gotta
wanna
take a
bring-
quick
okay,
break,
yeah, let's do that.
and then we'll come right back.
Welcome to Game Day Men's Health in Green Hills in Nashville, Tennessee. We are a men's health clinic. We're doing a lot with testosterone replacement therapy. So welcome to our clinic. What you'll be able to do is get your blood work. We'll send it back to our in-house labs. we'll test your total testosterone, your PSA, and then your H&H as well. So we'll get those results within about that 20-25 minute mark. You'll be able to sit down with our licensed clinician and go over your result. We do a lot with medical weight loss, vitamin injections. We have a few ED services as well. And then we also do a lot with peptide therapy as well. And it is something that you want to move forward with if it makes sense. You should be in and out in about 45 minutes.
What's up, guys? We are back. And I learned during the break that I'm allowed to say shit. It's on the approved list of words, so we're good. I wanted to ask you a specific question. Well, maybe it's not a question. I think. Well, I was gonna do that my way, organically.
Jeez, guys.
All right. Well,
Man.
not
everybody. I trust you, Sam.
Commercial break intro just got ruined. Thanks, guys. No, I would like to mention our sponsors really quickly because I failed to do that in the beginning. So I apologize to our sponsors. Music City Muscle Gym, love you guys. Defiance Fuel, love you guys. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of the NFM podcast. Again, that is Music City Muscle Gym and Defiance Fuel. Stay hydrated, stay strong. Not their slogans. I just said that.
I like it.
I want to talk about handstand walks and pull-ups.
Okay.
As a non-CrossFitter, just giving you shit.
Yes.
Because
yes.
I can say that. Now Terry's going to hate that he told me it's okay.
He should not have told you that.
Because I almost just said crap. But I'm just, playfully giving you
of course.
crap.
Yeah.
Why? Okay. What do I want to say?
Yeah.
Can people do strict pull-ups and kipping pull-ups, or do we just skip to kipping pull-ups?
So in a virtuous gymnastics world, that is not always the case in the CrossFit gym. You are meant to start with strict strength first.
In CrossFit, that's a standard.
Yes.
I always am asking my friends who do CrossFit, is this a CrossFit standard? I have one more about wall balls too.
So CrossFit standard is a loose term, right?
I think that's what they've said. They're like,
that I don't know if it would be in a handbook somewhere, but if you take the gymnastics course, which is partnered with CrossFit, and there's certifications that come with that, there are certain progressions of requirements that get you to the next level. So strict strength should be first. I should be able to do 5 strict pull-ups before I even try to kip anything.
Okay.
And then I should be able to go unbroken kipping this many, like 10 unbroken kipping pull-ups for 3 sets before I start to do butterfly.
Yeah.
Because what's happening is if you skip right to butterfly, it's really a lot of pressure on your shoulders. And so to be honest, functionally, you really don't need it other than competition, right? And so if you're butterflying pull-ups for a competition because it needs to be quick and fast, because you've worked to that and it's in a safe environment, go for it. More power to you. But the average human who's walking in to do a workout, we're either trying to do the strict pull-up or the kipping based on your level.
Thank you for saying that, because you said it's not functional, but in competition, it is.
Right.
There are things that people do in fitness for competition.
And you're gonna blur the lines as best you can that stays within the standard to win. Yeah.
But don't argue with me that is a functional thing. Like butterfly pull-ups are functional. It's like, no, Granny Sue does not need to be doing butterfly pull-ups.
No, she does not.
She might not even need to do regular pull-ups, but I'd rather her be doing those,
Well, and I'd rather her be able to do 1 strict pull up to pull herself off the ground if she falls down and pull herself up off the bed.
I love the way you think. Okay.
So that's where we're at. And again, and here's the thing, and to your point with what we keep bringing back up is that you're going to see the good and the bad in any industry, right? And so you are probably going to walk in, unfortunately, into CrossFit gyms that don't see it that way.
Right.
But all we can do with the little space we have in this ownership world is within our walls.
Yes.
And trying to hold again, coaches being your messengers who then hold that to the standard for their members to be like, hey, we're going to get this strict strength stuff figured out first, because I want you to be strong enough to do the kipping pull-ups in a way that keeps you safe and your shoulders last forever.
Yeah.
So
you're going to set yourself up for success.
Totally.
Same with handstands. I know that some of the handstand crazy people are they have a problem with the handstand walking and how it's done in CrossFit.
Yes.
What's your opinion?
Yeah. Again, if you take the gymnastics course, the virtuous handstand walking would be straight, legs straight.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. No way.
Yeah.
So no one does that.
Yes. There's the ideal world, and then there's the true self, right? That's maybe true in every facet of life. We've got our ideal selves.
Last one, and then like we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yes.
But just because I've seen these things and I've had conversations, but there's this I forget. It's not Rich Froning, but it's a guy named Rich, and he also is big on Instagram. He's a CrossFit coach, but he's not like going to the open. I think he's just a coach.
Okay.
And he has a lot of followers. And I saw this on my Explore page one day about like, stop doing these common mistakes with wall balls. And I opened it because I am training a client for High Rocks right now. And I'm just around wall balls a lot. And one of them was, I mean, you have your like things about going to parallel and things like that. How to hold it and catch it. Cool. It was, you must keep your heels down. And that threw me because I was like, why?
Oh, even on the toss at the top?
He said it was the standard. I asked him why, and I opened the comment with, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm genuinely asking, what is the must part of the keeping your heels down with wall balls? I'm curious. And he said, it's not like, it's more optimal and it's part of the standard, but it's not necessarily like a preference for me. He was basically saying like, this isn't me saying this. This is CrossFit saying this.
Interesting.
I found it interesting too.
Yeah, I've never heard that. Because if you look at points of performance, and if you ever see wall balls in the open or other things, you're going to see getting
Triple extension.
Exactly. You're going to see the full extension at the top and going fully below parallel.
Yeah, because like I think he was trying to argue that like you're going to get more from your posterior chain. I'm like, you already got that part though.
Right.
Like if you've extended your hips, what's coming on your toes?
And you're going to come up on your toes on a barbell too. Like that's part of that full extension. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I hadn't heard
weird
that
advice.
Yeah,
and that guy had a lot of followers, so I was like, And his answer was so vague that I brought it up to my friends at Fit Factory.
Yeah,
and they were like, "Well, I haven't heard that that's a standard." But I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like if it's, I don't know. Sometimes you can get caught in the weeds of the nitpicky stuff. There is things to be particular about that keep you safe, and then there's sometimes things like that where you're like, I can see there's benefit there, but also I'm not sure that's the hill to die on.
I think that is industry right now.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
Everybody's trying to be the smartest person in the room.
Yes.
No matter what.
That's so true.
Technically, if you like, if you have your elbow at a 45, like, yo, shut up, lift the weight. Like,
I see kettlebell people.
That's so true.
Things I even agree with. Things I might even agree with. I'm like, okay. Like, I saw one. He was talking about holding the kettlebell, like, and he was so like aggressive about it. He was like, stop holding the kettlebell on your shoulder and pressing like this. You're going to get hurt. And I was like, okay, I kind of agree with you. Like, I always want people to have the kettlebell in the front rack here.
Yep.
And to press from there. But like, you're acting like a dick about it. Like,
well, nobody's going to listen then. At that point, it feels like when you get too adamant or too hardcore, it's like, wait, you're losing the very people that you're trying to help influence.
Yeah.
Like, there's a way to do it for sure.
Because to your point, like, someone random can't yell at me.
Exactly.
If we have a relationship, then you can yell at me. Right?
Because exactly.
A relationship, right?
Yep.
But a random person could never yell at me.
Right.
A coach
it's not going to come across
that I trust can
a lot
say,
of coaches need
stop
to hear
doing that, right?
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, my bad. I thought I was doing it right.
Right.
A random,
because they know you and they care. Yeah, for sure.
So to your point, but again, I just think the industry is going so far in different directions of everyone's trying to be the smartest person in the room versus like, yo,
I think everybody's trying to go viral.
That too.
That part as well. Yeah.
So what does it take to go viral? Like shock people, reinvent the wheel, get mad about the kettlebell on your shoulder.
That actually brings me to my next question for you. I think CrossFit went through a bit of a rebrand here recently. Like, you guys had a horrible PR team initially, right? Just brand in general. And then it kind of transitioned to you guys started really self-managing, like, hey, all right, there are some problems that we do see.
Sure.
This thing took off. And I've even said this, like, CrossFit arguably has done more for the fitness industry than any other modality that we have, right? So many people either love it or hate it, have tried it, want to try it, or afraid to try it, but you know about it, right? It's one of the only things that is nationally televised, right? Like, nobody's out. Bodybuilding is really just getting there.
Sure.
But people don't watch it the way, like, I would watch CrossFit and like, oh shit. Like,
the games are on. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
The games are on. Like, let me just watch it and see, like, how strong, like, okay, I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh no, wow. He's in 10 minutes? Like, right? So it's like, I'm watching this stuff as a fitness expert and like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And it drives that ego that we were talking about earlier, right? Like, man, I'm going to go try that on Monday and see.
See if I can do that.
I'm going to get 6 barbells and I'm going to set up these deadlifts and I'm going to go.
There's nothing wrong with that. Let's be clear about that.
1000%.
There's nothing wrong. That's pushing yourself. You know, it's being
1000%.
inspired.
I would say inspiration for sure.
Which is what I love about CrossFit.
Yeah.
Is that it takes the limits off of fitness.
Sure.
The reverse of that is personally, and I want to ask you how you feel about it. I personally don't think CrossFit is for everybody, like everything else, right? I think you're the perfect person for CrossFit. Former athlete, had a level of aggression, love to compete. Like, you check those boxes.
Right.
Sally Soccer Mom, who's just trying to lose 20 pounds before she goes to the beach this summer, don't know that CrossFit is the right modality for her. Going from, I've never done anything in life, to I want to start hang cleaning.
Honestly, if she went to her gym, maybe.
I was gonna say I disagree.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So please.
Yeah, I disagree.
I want to see your thoughts.
Yeah,
on
I think there is absolutely space for Sally, and we have Sally's in our gym, and we've got grandmas that are hang cleaning, and they're stronger than they've ever been, and there's space for that. But it can also be box step ups to some plates instead of box jump overs, and so there is always, again, infinitely scalable options for them. So are they going to be trying to train for the games? Of course not. But honestly, 99% of us shouldn't be anyway. So we need to let that dream go sit somewhere. But so I think I think there's CrossFit does have. There's CrossFit HQ. We have the games. There is like that inspiration that comes from these top tier athletes. Yeah. But we have LeBron James out there in the NBA, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be him. Yeah. And so there has to be space for the adult basketball league, right? And that's okay too, right? Yeah. And so CrossFit can be both. And I think what we're having to do because of the bad PR or because there's been some issues in leadership is what do we have control over within our gym only, right? Like that's our members are who we're taking care of, and the modality that says this is for your life. And honestly, we consider ourselves the front line of healthcare. Yeah. Like if you're doing CrossFit, and I would argue, and this is true in other modalities as well, but if you're doing CrossFit, like the lack of need for cholesterol, high blood pressure, obesity medication, anxiety, depression medication, like just completely falls off. That's because of
but you're right though. Like it is, I think in general, if you are like lifting weights, pushing limits in the gym, like you are absolutely eliminating so many potential risks, or not risks, but potential like, I need to go to the doctors.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes. And so I guess my soapbox is twofold with CrossFit is, in a world of quick fixes, and we're on Ozempic and we're on whatever the latest anxiety or depression medications are, the other things that were being thrown from doctors, there's space to push yourself and go hard. It's not as quick of a gratification, but it's going to last for the rest of your life. And there is space for that in other fitness modalities too. Absolutely. But CrossFit's also a part of that. And so I think that's the part that can get frustrating, being on this side of it, saying, oh, CrossFit's just for competitors. And it's like, no, we're actually looking to bring fitness and health care to everybody in Nashville. And so there's room for that.
And I think that's the rebrand.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
To your example, the guys in the adult basketball league have no chance. They know I'm never getting to the NBA.
Correct.
Right? Where there's a little bit of a chance in your mind, maybe not realistically as a coach, you're like, it's never gonna happen for you. But it's a chance. It could happen, right?
Yes.
Like
because CrossFit was born organically, and people who were just in boxes ended up at the games. Right. I think there is still that feeling.
Dream, yes. It's like the dream's still alive.
Right.
Yes.
But that was over 10 years ago, and that's not a thing anymore.
That's not how it works.
Well, apparently
anymore.
the games have changed too. I've heard that like they changed it this year. What has changed?
Well, they've changed it many times, so it keeps changing, and so because the sport
this year apparently it was like not favorable.
They did some major changes on like who can qualify for the semifinals. They're taking less people for the games and for teams, so they're just taking less people. Okay, so there's just there's even less of a chance now than ever.
Really let that.
Yeah. You should really double check that. Yeah.
So I really can't make it. So I'm really not. Yeah.
Sit down.
Yeah. Although you being in top 40 versus top 30, none of us were going anyway. It's okay. But I do think because that part is different in a professional sport than you see in the NBA.
Yeah.
NBA didn't grow out of an adult basketball league and turn
Right,
into it,
right.
whereas
Right.
CrossFit did. It kind of
yes.
did that in that order. So there's still this belief.
It's almost in your brand DNA that. Like, it's the American dream.
Yes.
Right? Anybody.
Pull
you
yourself
can
up
make
by
it-
your bootstraps.
Yeah, if you can make it, you can do it. Yeah. It's like,
and you know what else? I think part of that is because we're still in its first generation.
Yes.
There's not been a second generation of kids in CrossFit yet. Like my daughter is only 3, right? She hasn't had a chance to grow up in it in the new generation of that's a different professional sport,
Yeah.
and we're doing this sport at our level.
Yeah.
And so we're still waiting for that next generation.
Gotcha.
This whole generation has grown up with it, where it has been the organic people coming from these boxes and going to the games.
Yeah. Right.
So I think it'll change with the next generation.
So I want to use the rest of our time to actually talk about you and your business. I know it
thanks.
feels like I'm
Yeah.
like we're here and you're making you defend CrossFit. Like, no,
Yeah,
first of all,
CrossFit. Defend
I'm
it.
sorry,
seriously.
but all your answers have been like spot on, great, perfect.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
feel like if there's
legit.
anybody to talk to about
Yeah.
CrossFit,
Like-
and answer all the questions from both sides, like I don't like CrossFit, I'm scared of it, I don't like it, I'm intimidated, whatever, think it's bad, or
Yeah.
I love CrossFit, you would be a really great
Yeah, I
person
can tell
to
you
like.
talked about it before. Like you
Yeah.
had these conversations. Like, no, I've been talking about this for the last 10 years. Tell us a little bit about CrossFit East, what you
Yeah.
guys do, offer, all those things.
Yeah, thank you. So we've been a gym for the last 7 years. So we just celebrated 7 years in November, and we've been at the same location. We're right off Davison Street. So we get to our running trail takes us to
Yeah.
Shelby or to
Yeah.
Nissan Stadium. So we're in a pretty cool spot in Nashville, and with 16,000 square feet, we're pretty
Jeez.
spoiled. So
Very cool.
Lots of room
It's
for activities.
Beautiful. If you've never been in there, it
really
it's a
is.
beautiful gym. Yeah.
it's
I've
it's
walked
been
inside and
Yeah.
bought a drink, and then I
And then
take
left.
off.
God,
Yeah.
you got to take a
Well,
class
it
next
was-
time.
I
just wanna go in there by
I'm
myself.
on a party bus.
Yeah, I was on a party bus. No, I was drunk. I was
I don't
drunk
do
there.
that
So
often
I think I owe
either.
you $5. I took an energy drink and just walked back out. Like,
No, you don't understand. I did not want to be on this party bus. I didn't really know anyone, and I was looking for like anything to hold in my hand that
That's
wasn't
hilarious.
alcohol, because if I hold alcohol, I will be very drunk. So
Grab that Fit Aid. You'll be okay.
yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, no, so we're very spoiled in that, and very grateful for the space because it allows us to have so many members. So
Yeah.
have over 350 members in the gym, and equipment that can support that, and about 15 coaches on staff. And so it's just a cool thing to watch it grow into what it is today. We've got voted best CrossFit gym in Nashville 2 years in a row.
Sure.
And so that's cool to see. We've been voted 3 times overall in the 7 years we've been open. And this year in particular was really sweet because Jenny Tyson won best CrossFit coach in Nashville, and she's one of our coaches. So it was
that's
the
amazing.
double hit of like best CrossFit coach and best CrossFit gym. And
Yep.
it just speaks to the caliber of coaches we have. And so Jenny is just one of many, and actually Travis, 2 of the 3 people nominated were from our gym,
I know
right? And so
Travis.
there's something to that. Yeah, Travis,
Great guy.
just the best. Traps
Yeah.
by Trav.
Yep.
There-
he's a really nice guy too.
little
Yeah.
plug. But no, Jenny is just a great example of what's happening across the board of intentionality. If you walked into Jenny's class today, I promise if you came today, she would accept you and say, where are we working? And she would be willing to call you out and say, no, we're not doing that today. I'm keeping you safe. But she's bringing energy. She is fun. She opened the first CrossFit gym in Cambodia. She's got a business degree from Harvard. She's the only female player on her all men's hockey team. Like, this girl is incredible, right? And then she shows up to be the best
single?
CrossFit gym or best CrossFit coach, right? And
You said what you said. I heard what you said.
she is the best gym. She is why we're the best gym. And the coaches are, because the leadership, like our team of ownership can have vision and ideas for the gym, but unless our coaches are on board to make it happen, like it's not real, right? And so they're the ones that are on the boots on the ground daily saying we're taking our core values and we're making that a reality in flesh and blood and how we love our members. And so whether that's in getting more certifications, we really believe in coach development. Like, we're not trying to let you just get your L1 and then babysit. Like, that's not what we're
Right.
about. And
I
so
can tell. I can already tell.
yeah. And so that there's space for them to grow as coaches, then allow our members to get the best possible instruction and guidance. And so we're just super blessed in that. We're always looking for ways to create more opportunities for our members too. So we've added yoga. So we have yoga on Sundays. We are trying to look into how to bring High Rocks in a healthy way. Cause it's instead of seeing it as competition, being like, it's just another cool way to move. And guess what? All the movements in High Rocks are in CrossFit. So it's like, it's just a way to do that with
CrossFit without barbell.
Exactly. Just a way to do with less barbell. And for someone who maybe is intimidated by a barbell, it's more approachable. And so we're always looking to be open-minded and not say, this is the only way to do it and we're never going to change. It's like, you know what? This is becoming more and more of a thing. Let's figure out how to make it a part of what we're doing. So
I heard a really good explanation when someone asked what the difference was
Yeah.
between High Rocks and CrossFit. And it was High Rocks is training for something very specific.
Yes.
Like, you know what you're going to do.
Yes.
This is the workout. Where CrossFit is like, you need to be ready for whatever.
The unknown and the unknowable.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, you need to show up ready for anything.
Yep.
And then we'll tell you what to do when you get here.
Exactly.
And so that's a good, like, depends on what kind of personality you have, on what water you want to jump into.
Exactly.
Right? Like, do I want to train like this for 6 weeks, or do I want to train all modalities, and when I get there, let's see who's the best at whatever it is.
Right, and be ready for anything.
Be ready for anything. I love that. How did you get into the business side of?
Yeah, good
CrossFit?
question. Yeah. So, my husband and I have been together since 2017, and when on one of our first dates, he was like, "I just need you to know right now, like, one of my bucket list things that I will do in my lifetime is own a gym." And I was like, "Cool, great." I've always been into fitness. At that time, I was a teacher, but I'm like, "We'll figure it out. Probably in our 40s or 50s, we'll eventually own a gym. That'll be a cool side hustle."
Yeah, babe.
Yeah.
You will.
Totally. I will totally get there. But it was like one of those things where, like, we knew as part of what our team, our commitment and partnership to each other, that was on the horizon at some point. But again, much further down the timeline. So I started CrossFit in 2018. He was already a fitness coach, doing functional fitness, and was in that world much more than I was. But then I got my L1, started coaching at CrossFit East Nashville, and we were really blended and really immersed in the community there. So what is it, almost 2 years ago, we heard that the current ownership was looking to sell. And so we just started to pray about it and was like, is this being handed to us as an opportunity? Are we way out of our league? Like, what are we, is that even realistic? And so the third piece of our ownership team, Christian, he has been a member since it started, and he's got a background in business and finance. So he kind of came in as the CFO side. John's coming in as the fitness background. I'm coming in with just being an organized person who loves CrossFit.
The woman.
The woman piece, right?
Very important.
Right, the integrator.
Yeah.
And so having some help, knowing we had a team approach, we submit our offer, and there were other people interested in buying the gym too. And I think one of the advantages we had was that we were part of the community instead of someone coming from the outside trying to buy the gym.
We already change it, or
it's kind of it could stay in the family.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that it was an easy road. It wasn't like it was just handed to us. We had to fight really hard to make it happen, and there were obstacles along the way, but we knew so deeply how much it meant to us, and we couldn't imagine it not being a part of our lives, but also for our members. And so it was one of those things where it was like, we will figure this out and make it happen. So it was August of 2023 that we signed the dotted line after a lot of obstacles, but
Recently.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so about a year and a half. Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're in the cool part where those first 6 months or so of ownership, you are just trying to figure it out, right? What did we just inherit? What holes do we plug?
Well, yeah.
How do we not lose all our people, right? As you make changes, and so we've learned a lot as far as being smart about change, not creating change fatigue for your members, where you just change everything at the same time, and then also, yeah,
Go on.
and also then finding that stability to then make strategic changes. Okay, now we're afloat, things are running smoothly. How do we make this even better than it's ever been? So it's been so cool to just watch that take off and grow. And then things like the getting voted for best gym then just like confirms like we're headed the right way. Like we're doing things that matter both for our members, but then hopefully for the community, right? That my goal is that in a world of technology and isolation, that we're trying to create a space for community, but also for other modalities too, of like fitness. This is we're all trying to fight illness and obesity and all the things that are dragging us down, and we're meant for community. So whether you join CrossFit or not, like we're just one space among many to offer for you, of like, we're a space for you to have community, but also there are other ways to do that. And so it's just been the coolest thing that somehow in all miracles of miracles, we get to help be a part of that.
That's awesome. I feel like there's no better suited person to own it, because like everything we just talked about, all the questions you answered, but you weren't answering them in like a defensive way. Like you get it. Like you get why people have qualms or concerns or whatever. You've heard them all, because you've been in it, and you've built community with it, and you genuinely believe in it. So like, I mean, one of my first jobs as a fitness coach, it was because I went to that gym and I just loved it there,
right?
And then when it was an opportunity to hire coaches, I was like, I want to do it.
Yeah.
And they were like, actually, we want you to do it too, because you care about this community.
Yeah.
So, and it's always, I think that's what runs a smooth ship, is when you have community that wants to be there, and loves it. Yeah.
Well, in a world of, and I know we need to wrap up, but in a world of working from home or living on our phones and Netflix and a lot of things, we're not with people. We're more and more isolated, but this is our primal instinct to need others. That's not going away. We're going to develop in a lot of ways, but that deep need for connection, that's never going to change. And so as people move further away from other third spaces, whether the church or friends or family, what does it look like for the gym to be that and a safe space to have conversations that you'd never have otherwise? Or at least if everything else goes to crap today, for this 1 hour, I'm going to be with my people and I know I'm going to be seen and I know I'm going to work hard. And then I can take that energy, I can take that win into really difficult situations in the rest of my life. And so I just think as things progress continually in a more and more isolated way, I feel like in general, what y'all are doing with Nashville Fit Magazine and the media marketing side of it, like that's needed because we're even getting more and more isolated within our own industries too, where it's like, it's just me and my little box and then me and my little, and it's like, no, like we're meant for connection and it's meant to be not only within our gym, but then also with other spaces too. So
yeah, I love that you said that. Yeah, I agree.
We're going to wrap up here, but we love to leave our guests with the last word. So it can be about CrossFit. It can be about come to my gym and spend some money. It could be whatever, literally whatever's on top of your heart right now. This is your time to talk directly to our audience.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think for me, take the next step, whether that is into a CrossFit gym, if it's Pilates or yoga or joining a run club, the only wrong answer is inaction. And so I would just encourage you, it doesn't have to be the thing you stick with forever, but taking that next step, I promise you you will never regret doing that one next step to challenge yourself to get out of your comfort zone. And I would highly encourage that to be with people. So whatever version of movement you do, go do it with a group because it's going to change your life.
I love that.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, that wraps this one up. This is a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys.
I like this kind of conversation. Good.
Well, I am your host, one of them, the Gerell Webb. This is my girl.
The host. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there you go.
I am Savanna Hill. Y'all can call me Sav. Thanks so much for joining us today on another episode of the NFM Podcast. Peace out.